don't, am I on? Oh, now I am on, okay. I'm Lori Cartier, I'm your worship associate for this morning, this beautiful Earth Day. I mean, we may have a little rain in between, but hasn't it been the most amazing week? Can everybody hear me okay? I turn my head and all right, how's that? Okay, so welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Bangor on this beautiful Earth Day morning. We are so pleased to see all of you here in the sanctuary and all of you on Zoom. I had to turn my phone off, so I don't know how many we have. But there's usually like 20 people on Zoom. Today we have some very special guest speakers. Charlene Virgilio, who is the Executive Director of the Four Directions Development Corporation, and Chris Sockalexis, who is the Penobscot Nation Tribal Historic Preservation Officer. He's going to have some wonderful things, or both going to have some wonderful things to tell us as our service moves along. So Charlene will be telling us more about the Four Directions Development Corporation, and Chris is going to give us a drum song, which some of us are very excited about, and tell us about being stewardships of this land of waters. So welcome, Chris and Charlene. We have a very special gift that was presented to us when they arrived. If you can look at the flowers that are on the altar, in front of them is a little dream catcher. It was made by Maria Nicholas, who was the wife of a former chief, and that has been gifted to us for our church, so we have to find the perfect place to put it. So Sue McKay has something that she would like to tell us as we move into announcements.
Good morning, everybody. Following the service, we'll give you about 15 minutes max to go out, use the facilities, grab a bite to eat, and then please come back in. We're going to have a discussion about the upcoming budget that will be voted on at the annual meeting. We do this so that if changes need to be made, the council has a chance to work on that draft budget before it is presented for approval at that annual meeting. So if you've got questions about how the budget works or what it's going to look like, please show up, because we don't want our annual meeting in May to go on for hours. The other thing, immediately following that, I will be doing a short presentation on the proposed change to Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. That is where the principles that we have been using for about 20 years have been revamped into values, and we're going to discuss the changes. And also what's very similar, there's even some exact wording, and I think people are confused, and we'll go over that. So it'll be two meetings.
And you're doing it right in the sanctuary.
We're doing it right in the sanctuary, right here, 11:15. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. All right, so because of the budget meeting, the Justice Now Committee is going to move their meeting to April 28th at 11:30 in the Community Cafe. You will notice that there are not very many children here today, and that's because they are on a field trip to the tribal farm in Bradley to help get the beds ready for planting. So they have a very exciting field trip that they're on. They had to move it from a couple of weeks ago when it was too muddy to go out. Hope it's good today. So we just have a few kids, and the little ones will be going downstairs, but the big ones will be staying up. So let me see, next Sunday will be our last Super Sunday of the year, and there will be a Spirit of Drumming circle, and at noon there will be a collective garden box build. Food and Medicine is coming, and we're going to have a community garden box right here at UUSB. So plan to stay for lunch, and all the fun should be really awesome. Now take a moment. Breathe in deeply. Recognize that we are living and worshiping on the tribal land of the Wabanaki Penobscot Nation. As you breathe in gratitude. As you breathe out love. Blessed be. John.
They paved paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. They charged the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, but leave me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Late last night I heard that screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
Thank you, John. It's always so much fun when you're here to do the music. The ecologist Baba Dioum said, "In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught." We gather today to celebrate Earth Day, to express our deep devotion to all life, and to recommit to joining the Penobscot Nation in protecting what we love. Let us start by honoring the 4 directions. I invite Larkin Speed to come up, and Phyllis is going to help her. I will read a bit about each direction, and then they will light the candles. Yes, the chalice is at the end. Yeah, I won't forget the chalice, I promise. Okay, Spirit of the East, Spirit of air, of morning and springtime, be with us as the sun rises in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures. Spirit of the South, Spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. Spirit of the West, Spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. Spirit of the north, Spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. Ground us in the wisdom of the changing seasons as we celebrate the spiraling journey of our lives. And now to light our chalice, you coming up? Francis Gray. And so finally, we light this chalice, symbol of the warmth of community and the brightness that love brings to the world, illuminating our search for justice and peace, light, that force that nurtures all living things, here in our midst, in this flame, so tiny and so significant. Blessed be, and welcome Spirit as we light our chalice. So very appropriately for Earth Day, we have our opening hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. Blessed be. So I have to apologize. I thought all the children would be gone this morning, and I didn't set up anything in the way of a story for all ages, but we do have people downstairs who will be taking care of the little ones, so if we want to go ahead and just sing them down to their classes. Are your kids going to go down? I don't think there's any yes. We've got 2 kids over here. Are they going down? They're having fun. We've got a table over there with stuff to color, and they're having a good time. Whee! She's ready. Woo! be. Now, I would like to invite John to come back up or stay where he is, or where are you going? Right here? And he is going to do special music for us this morning. Thank you, John.
There we go. As the rain sifts through the trees, it threatens nature's ancient harmonies. Poison rain from an ailing sky. Beneath the ground, roots will die, and that is why I sing this song for the earth. The tainted river struggles to an open sea. Defiled is the mountain's majesty. All of life is a chain. When one is hurt, all feel the pain. What do we gain? For what it's worth, I'm offering this song for the earth. The sea is where all life begins. The ocean is our origin. If she dies, nothing survives. No, nothing can. And who will look with awe upon the monuments of man? But the trees still strive to grow, watching generations come and go. Green and tall, the land is theirs, feeding the soil, clearing the air, living their song, a song for the earth.
Thank you, John. Beautiful. So now we have come to the part of our service this morning where Charlene from Four Directions and Chris from the Penobscot Nation are going to take over and tell us more about what they do, who they are, and how everything came to be. So I will turn this over to them.
Good morning. I just want to thank you all for this invitation. I'm so delighted to be here and profoundly grateful for your faith and belief in our organization. Your support has helped us in so many ways, but it has helped so many community members realize their dream of home ownership. Through funding and donations over the years, we really do and can make a difference in people's lives. I'd like to start off with just a little poem from a Native American wisdom book that I have, because I felt like, given it it's Earth Day, our people are really at one with nature, and it sounds very much like you are also aligned with nature as well. But I want to read something from Blackfoot, and then I want to tell you a story about how we became partners, and then I'll introduce Chris, and if we have time, I'd like to share some words from a former chief from so many years ago that still apply to this day. It's almost 20 years ago. So from Crowfoot, our land is more valuable than your money. It will last forever. It will not even perish by the flames of fire. As long as the sun shines and the waters flow, this land will be here to give life to men and animals. We cannot sell the lives of men and animals. It was put here for us by the Great Spirit, and we cannot sell it because it does not belong to us. I thought that that passage was really important because one of the reasons we came into being is if you could just imagine if you wanted to buy a home and a bank, traditional bank might say to you, but you don't own the land that the house is on. No, we don't own the land. Well, that doesn't go too far with a traditional bank because if there's any problems with that mortgage, they want to recover the land and the home. Or perhaps maybe you're a seasonal worker and your job is 3 months out of the year overfishing, which is enough money to provide sustenance for your entire year for a family. And a bank might look at your credit score and say, you have no credit. You don't have regular income. Well, that's where we come in. We look at character over credit. And we also understand seasonal jobs and seasonal income. We also understand people have problems. Maybe there's been an illness, maybe there's been a divorce, and we take those things into account because many people can fall on hard times. And so that is not always a true measure of someone's credit worthiness. So for those of you not familiar with a community development financial institution, that is what Four Directions is. And we work in community to bring capital and dollars to invest in our communities, whether it be for tribal buildings, tribal community facilities, or individuals who want to start businesses or own a home, or maybe have some education around financial capabilities. Those are the things that we provide. So our mission is really to improve the social and economic conditions of the communities in Maine, which is comprised of 4 tribes, the Penobscot Nation, of which Chris and I are members of, and then there's Passamaquoddy, Pleasant Point, and Township. And then we have the Holton Band of Maliseet Indians, and then we also have Mi'kmaq Nation up in the Presque Isle area. So when we started, it's funny, everything's in 20s today, because our relationship with the Council of Churches started 20 years ago. So this is the story I wanted to share with you today. It's 2004. Imagine a young nonprofit with a tiny staff, modest budget, and an ambitious mission to improve the social and economic conditions of the Wabanaki tribes. Its name is Four Directions Development Corporation, and it's one of a small group of Native American community development financial institutions who are harnessing capital for communities throughout Indian country. One of its first tasks is to tackle a major barrier to home ownership for tribal members: home mortgages. Banks and other conventional lenders don't lend for properties on reservations because the land is held in trust. As a result, tribal members can't borrow or buy or improve their homes in their community, and more significantly, they can't build wealth. To make accessible and affordable mortgages for Wabanaki families, Four Directions had to raise the right kind of funding, but its short track record, and small size is seen as a risk, so attracting capital isn't easy. And it was around this time the Maine Council of Churches, we're taking a stand against a statewide ballot put forth by the Penobscot and Passamaquoddy tribes to allow tribal gaming. After the casino proposition was defeated in a highly charged vote, the council's board was compelled to back up its no vote with positive action, and they soon reached out to Susan Hammond, our founding director at Four Directions, with a simple question: how can we help? And thus was born a unique partnership between Four Directions and the Maine Council of Churches to create the Giving Wins Capital campaign, with a bold goal of raising $1 million for Four Directions loan and financial education programs. The Giving Wins Capital campaign, named in honor of one of nature's most powerful forces, was the first of its kind for native CDFI. The campaign's emphasis from the start was on investments in tribal people, not charity. Contributions and loans ranging from $10,000 to $200,000 came from more than 150 individuals, and some of you probably right in this church, churches, and national and regional denominations, including the Episcopal Church, Religious Society of Friends, United Church of Christ, and the Unitarian Universalists. Over 2 years, the Giving Wins raised $1.4 million in donations, low-cost loans, and matching funds. These investments provided the essential ingredients for growth. Capital for one, but more importantly, they signaled faith in tribal people at a crucial time in Four Directions' evolution. Well, what the Maine Council of Churches and Four Directions, after they launched this initiative, could never have foreseen its lasting and multiplying effects. 20 years later, the Giving Wins remains alive in many congregations and institutions that have renewed or even forgiven their loans. These investments have provided stable and low to no cost capital, which Four Directions has used to generate new dollars to expand its programs and impact. So every dollar that we collect goes back into our tribal communities. Giving Wins Capital helped propel Four Directions, which is now a thriving and is making a measurable difference in Wabanaki communities. Four Directions has made nearly $22 million in home, small business, consumer, and community development loans to 248 families, 40 native businesses, and have served over 1,400 individuals with credit counseling, financial capability training, home ownership education. We've also co-developed and financed the construction and rehab of 85 affordable residents for tribal elders and low-income families. We just wrapped up our tax season, but inception to date, we've helped over 1,356 Wabanaki tax filers when we perform free tax filing for them, which has allowed access to $493,000 of earned income tax credits. As we envision our future, Four Directions is well positioned to create even more opportunities for tribal people in the decades to come. It's hard to overstate the significance of Giving Wins and the overall capital campaign. It really exemplified the power of true collaboration to build bridges across cultural, spiritual, economic, and personal paths, which often don't cross. The unlikely partnership has forged among many tensions years ago between a fledgling native CDFI and a faith-based organization has come to embody the spirit of Four Directions' cherished value of Wiguchime Toltene. Let's help each other in its purest form, and calls us to imagine what else is possible. We are honored that this campaign continues to give. the winds are still guiding us to parity for our people. So I'd like to thank you all for that contribution and for that support. It has meant so much to so many. And what's kind of fun is I get to introduce a client of ours, Chris Alexis, who is now a happy homeowner on tribal lands. And so these are the kind of things that these dollars help us to do. And so we appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Would you like me to introduce Chris? So I've known my journey led me to Connecticut and then back to Maine. This is my home, and anytime I came to visit Maine, I couldn't wait to move back. It took me 50 years to get back here, but I'm so happy to be home. And when I came home, there's certain people that you meet, even before I worked at Four Directions, there's certain people that you meet that you know instantly they're a kind and giving individual and somebody that's very welcoming. And when you come home after being gone so long, it's not an easy reentry, but people like Chris Alexis were there, and he's been a great peer of mine and friend ever since I've been back. I've done a lot of work in the cultural space, and whenever I called on Chris, he was always there to help. And when I was asked to come here today, talk about what we do, I felt like, well, I really need a really strong cultural person. So I called on Chris, and as usual, he said, of course, yes, he'd be here. So Chris is our Tribal Historian Preservation Officer. He's been with our cultural department almost 20 years, another 20. But anyway, I'm so happy he decided to come and share his voice with you today. So Chris, let me turn it back to you. Over to you.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation to be a part of your services this morning. So as Charlene stated, I'm the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer, so for the Penobscot Nation. In a nutshell, I'm the tribal archaeologist, so that's my educational background and my career after 20 years of cooking. It's a nice change to be outside again. Invited here to talk just a little bit about stewardship of the land. We're currently, with the position I'm in now, working with the National Park Service with the newly formed Katahdin Woods and Waters. I'll say newly formed, it's almost 8 years now. Working with them directly, it's great that we could have these relationships between tribal peoples and the federal government on different levels. And this is the one I really like, we are just finishing up some documents pertaining to code stewardship of the woods and waters, so 87,000 acres in northern Maine. It's taken care of by the Park Service, but the Penobscot Nation also has co-stewardship to get up in there to help protect, preserve, and mitigate, our cultural, historic, natural resources. We work with the Park Service both in the woods and waters as well as Acadia on different aspects of like plant gathering, so we can still go in and harvest our traditional plants for food and medicines. And we're looking to do that up in the woods and waters now. We already have that established with Acadia. So just a little background on me, and I'll just share a short story. My family's traditionally from the Kennebec River area, and our traditional home for hunting and fishing was Moosehead Lake. So it's really, really neat that with being our family, the Alexis clan is the Sturgeon clan. And I was out shooting a documentary with PBS Nova on Thursday in the Damariscotta River talking about shell mounds, the significance of shell mounds. The whole thing is about the Gulf of Maine. So climate change, looking at different aspects of the Gulf of Maine historically and culturally. And it's just kind of neat that with my family being the Sturgeon clan, I wasn't in my kayak paddling down the Damariscotta River, like not even 5 minutes, and this huge sturgeon, I hope they got it on film, but this huge sturgeon jumped right up and out of the water, right in front of my kayak. Splashed so much that water did splash onto the bow of my kayak. That's how close it was. It was just truly amazing, and that's how our day started of filming, and it was just amazing to be at this site. I've been all over Maine, but But this is one area I've never set foot on in this part of Maine. And to paddle down another river, I'm an avid paddler as well, a river guide for the last 10 years. So it's another river I didn't paddle, and I was really happy to paddle the Damariscotta River during that day. But again, with what we do as historic preservation officers, we have 4 in Maine. The 4 tribes in Maine have their own, and any federally recognized tribe can have a THPO office, to do what we're doing. They're archaeologists, historians, tribal leaders, knowledge keepers, very spiritual people as well. And we protect and work with the Park Service, that's who our funding comes through, to co-steward all our lands with them throughout the country. And it's just really proud and rewarding to be a part of that here in Maine, to be one of the TIPOs here in Maine. I just wanted to share that little tidbit of what I do as a background, and I will close with a song that me and my brothers composed. It's the Penobscot flag song. So we didn't have a song for our flag. All flags have songs. And we realized way back when, 25 years ago, that ours didn't, so we composed one. So this is it. Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's also part of a drum group with his brothers. Very special. Thank you. Well, again, thank you for having us today. And I just wanted to share some words, given that it's Earth Day, from a speech made by our former chief, Barry Dana, on April 6th, 2002, when he was addressing the Maine legislature in Augusta, Maine. For centuries, our history and culture have been shaped by our direct daily interaction with the powerful moving force of nature. For this reason, my people have always viewed the regulation and protection of our natural resources as our obligation, our stewardship to Mother Earth. We still use the river as a source of life. Our traditions are tied into this powerful, free-flowing source. Although new materials have replaced birch bark canoes, we still use the waterways of the Penobscot to journey north to our sacred monument, Katahdin. Katahdin is the center to our spirituality. We still gather plants from the river sediments and use them in our medicines. We take our children upriver to enjoy the tradition of our people. We pray for the return of our salmon so our subsistence rights can be realized. Our stewardship and protection of the river comes naturally to me and my people. We have a deal. Mother Earth provides for us, and we protect her. This traditional value goes beyond laws and regulations. This is a deal that transcends governments, profits, and the perception of power. And this is a relationship our people will never break. We are one, connected for now and forever. Laliwani. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was powerful and fascinating, and we appreciate you coming so much. Thank you. So now we have a closing hymn that is number 163. For the earth forever turning. And again, the words are on the screen, or you can look in the book. Please rise. What a great song for Earth Day. Phyllis, or are you going to extinguish the chalice? I have kind of a longer reading since we have time. And then you could do the directions as well, starting in the north. Chalice first. As we extinguish our UU chalice, please take in these closing words. In the presence of the boundless mysteries of the cosmos, we gather in deep gratitude and awe. We give thanks for the unfolding wonders of the natural world, the intricate dance of ecosystems, the resilience of life, and the profound interconnectedness that weaves through the tapestry of existence. As we marvel at the grandeur of the universe, excuse me, we humbly recognize our place in this cosmic symphony. Grant us the wisdom to embrace a deep love and reverence for Earth, our sacred home. May we return to ancient practices of reciprocity and mutuality as we recognize the inherent value of every creature, every ecosystem, and every delicate balance that sustains life. We acknowledge the urgent call for Earth care and climate justice. Help us imagine a future of flourishing for all, Align our actions with the rhythms of nature and the principles of justice. Grant us the courage to confront the challenges of our time with compassion, seeking justice for those most affected by environmental degradation. In this shared journey, may we be guided by love and the sacred energy that unites us all. May we embody the principles of care, gratitude, and a profound love for the intricate web of life. Amen, and blessed be. So we can release the directions. Do you need to blow one? Just blow it. Will it work? Yeah. The north, the west, the south, and the east. Go if you must, stay if you will. Thank you for being with us today, all of the elements that these directions represent. So we will be closing now. Oh, the benediction. Let's first I just wanted to say one thing. If you are interested in improving the quality of housing for Native American people, raising home ownership among tribal members, and growing the number of Native-owned businesses in Maine, please consider donating to the Four Directions Development Corporation. I'm sure that Charlene would be happy to talk to you while we take our quick time in a coffee hour before we come back for the meeting. But your donation supports their service offerings and generates new programs to benefit the Wabanaki people. And I think she said it all when she said something like, we just can't even imagine what the future might bring or what they might be able to do. So many blessings to all of you who are able to help them with that. So we have a benediction where we all stand in kind of a weird circle, but we hold hands and sing this song that's going to appear on the screen.